In a stunning story, first reported by Jordan Bianchi and Jeff Gluck from The Athletic, Spire Motorsports has parted ways with crew chief Rodney Childers. Now, after spending a decade at Stewart-Haas Racing, many teams were eager to secure Childers' services for the 2025 season after SHR ceased operations. Now, Childers listened to several offers and felt like it was the right decision to pick Spire as his new home. Now, leading to the number 17 with Justin Haley as his new driver. Many initially believed that the addition of Childers would help take Spire a team on the rise to the next level in its performance by contending for race wins and making the playoffs. However, after only 9 races together, Haley's currently 23rd in the points and only has one top 10 finish at Homestead. Now, during Childers' career as a crew chief, he has 40 wins in the Cup Series, with all but 3 of them coming with Kevin Harvick. In 2014, Childers became a championship-winning crew chief with Harvick in their first year together at SHR. However, he and Harvick only won 2 races together in the next-gen era as SHR started to fall off performance-wise. Still, although the successful pairing of Childers and Harvick didn't look as dominant in their final couple of years together, Spire still wanted the crew chief who was in high demand to make a difference. Both graphic courtesy of Spire Motorsports, and the link to the Athletics article is in the video description below. Matt and Ben are with me here as well, as we have the statement coming through that they will react to, saying, NASCAR is an ever-evolving sport, and the path to improvement isn't always comfortable. The break in the Cup Series schedule gave us a chance to evaluate where we are as a program. We took the opportunity to discuss the best paths forward for everyone involved and the team, and Rodney agreed that it would be best for us to part ways. Rodney has worked at the highest level of our sport for 20 years, and he knows what it takes to win a championship. With that in mind, we collectively acknowledge that challenges and within the team dynamic, having the right combination of talent is just as important as the results on track. As we move in a new direction, it is not lost on us that Rodney has been an invaluable asset to our organisation, as he will continue to be for others in this sport. Well, Matt and Ben are with me talking about this tonight as well. Adam says, that was shocking news to me when I heard about it earlier today. Lots of respect for Rodney as well. Matt, starting with you, how shocked were you when you learned that Spire Motorsports and Rodney Childers parted ways after they sort of fought off teams for hiring him in the first place?
Yeah, good evening, guys. Big news today with this one. He was the big hire, wasn't he, last year when this was announced that he was coming in with some other bits that Spire were doing, especially in their driver roster. It was going to be a big change for that team. And it's done. You take the sample of the first, 7 or 8 weeks, however many races we've had so far this year, and the sample size, you go, yeah, it looks like it's moving in the right direction. But the key word in that statement was, I feel like Rodney has agreed. Here we go. If everyone involved in the team and Rodney agreed that it would be best for us to part ways, which basically means he's been asked to step aside in PR speak there, which is interesting. You're going to get to what he's reacted with shortly, but you really thought this was going to be, a big kicker. They've got a championship-winning crew chief in there. It was a little while ago now with Kevin Harvick, but still in that team, really good experienced guy to bring this forward. And as I said, they've done okay, but it feels like this is a big step sideways and perhaps backwards for them if they've lost one of the key figureheads of the team this early in his tenure at said team. Ben, what do you think about all this goings on?
Well, it almost feels like there has to be more to the story that we haven't heard yet. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can understand you being disappointed with, only one top 10 in the first 8 or 9 races that we've had this season. But, when I think about letting Rodney Childers go or whatever the case may be, whatever went down at Spire, that they decided they mutually agreed to part ways. Of course, we know that in PR speak, sometimes that doesn't mean what they say it means. But who are you going to get to replace Rodney Childers as Justin Haley's crew chief that you know is going to be better than him? You know, this is like a sports team in a league like the NFL or the NBA firing a head coach, after a disappointing start to the season, because they've fallen short of what perhaps their expectations might have been. But then it kind of puts your team back for the rest of the year because, I guess you promote one of your assistant coaches or whatever to that position. But, the only way it makes sense for me in my mind, to replace somebody as great as Rodney Childers is if another great crew chief is suddenly available or a free agent and you think you could make him work as a better fit. I don't know, but that's necessarily the case right now in the NASCAR Cup Series. Rodney Childers is one of the best crew chiefs that the series has, I think, as Josh, you mentioned 40 wins, 37 of them with Kevin Harvick, 3 more with MWR back in the day with David Rudiman and Brian Vickers. He knows how to build teams up in the case of MWR, and then in the case of SHR, take them to the next level and be championship contenders. I don't know why you would give up on him after just a quarter of a season here, unless there's, again, is more behind the scenes that we don't know about. But just a very, very surprising story to come out of the NASCAR world today. I'm thankful that it came out today so that you guys didn't have to wait a week to react to it, as we often get these stories on like a Thursday or something. But very surprising news, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the future holds for each of them as team and crew chief here. I guess we'll get into Ronnie here a little bit more in just a moment, but very surprising news to get this afternoon.
Yes, at the current time, Spire has not announced a replacement crew chief for Haley. According to The Athletic, there are several in-house candidates who could serve as interim crew chief, such as team's competition director Ryan Sparks or director of vehicle performance Matt McCall, both with years of experience atop of the pit box. But within the last few months, there have been a lot of changes on Spire's number 7 team. It started late last season, where the team basically traded Corey LaJoie to Ware Racing to get a head start on the 2025 season with Haley in the car. Then the team saw more changes in the last few weeks, with car chief Robert Cheddar Smith leaving for the same role with Ty Gibbs' number 54 team at Joe Gibbs Racing. The number 7 pit crew also got swapped out, with them going over to pit Kyle Larson's number 5 Chevrolet moving forward, as Larson's old pit crew moved to Haley's car. Now Childers is out after a short tenure at Spire. Lots of moving pieces on the number 7 team. With Childers now on the market, it would not be a surprise if some teams currently have a tough start to the 2025 season would go on to pursue him. Now, looking at the Cup Series standings, Shane Van Gisbergen is having a tough rookie season in 34th. His teammate Daniel Suarez is 27th. Brad Keselowski has been one of the biggest disappointments so far, 31st in points, while Eric Jones is 30th in his Legacy Motor Club Toyota, while his teammate John Hunter Nemechek is 21st. Maybe some of those teams or others we didn't mention will be in the market for a new crew chief with Childers' experience in hopes of turning their 2025 season around. Rodney has put out a statement saying, "I know this is a shock, but also know that not everything works out perfect all the time. That's how life works. This was just one of those things that just wasn't working for either of us. I appreciate my time at Spire, working with JH and the entire 7 team. We did a lot of good that is yet to be seen, and I wish them the best in the future. Also want to say thank you to everyone at Chevrolet, Mr. H, and everyone at Hendrick Motorsports for my time working with them again. It was a pleasure. Thank you to NASCAR, the officials, and most importantly, the fans for your support. For me, I'm going to take a little time, focus on the important things like my family and friends, and honestly just see what the racing world holds for me next. I know the man above will lead me in a direction that is best for me." Love heart emoji from RC as well. Well, Kyle Larson's currently over at the Indy 500 in the test day as well for Hendrick Motorsports with link up with Aaron McLaren. I can tell you he's doing quite well at the moment in the open test. In fact, I think I'm watching him on the screen right now as Scott Dixon goes through on that runaround. So, Ben, coming to you on this one. Although Childress said that he plans to take some time before deciding what he'll do next, do you think any struggling teams will try to sign him? Also, can the number 17 finally stop the revolving door that's been going on?
Yeah, if they're smart, they'll try to sign him, and he won't be unemployed for very long. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now, if Rodney decides, hey, I need some time away, maybe the Spire experience didn't go so well, and he wants to maybe get to the summer break before he gets back into the grind of a NASCAR Cup Series season, then that certainly would be understandable as well. I guess that's going to be up to him and what he decides that he wants to do. But I would imagine there are certainly any number of teams. We've talked about Trackhouse. One of the biggest disappointments, I think, to start the year. I mean, you look past Ross Chastain, not much unlike what Rodney and Kevin were doing at SHR in those final years that they were together at that team. It's been a very disappointing year so far. I guess Daniel Suarez got that runner-up to Josh Berry at Las Vegas, but aside from that, hasn't been seen much at the top of the field. And obviously, I know Shane Van Gisbergen is still learning the next-gen Cup car on these ovals here, but it's been a very disappointing start to his season as well. Brad Keselowski, obviously a Cup Series champion. We know it's not a lack of talent over there at RFK, and his teammates seem to be performing him much better than he is right now. Maybe there would be an opportunity for him to pull in a veteran crew chief like that. I don't know. I think any number of these teams that you mentioned, Josh, could use somebody like Rodney Childers on top of the pit box here. Matthew Owens says kind of feels like they believed he just doesn't have his arms around the car, but there should be still be a number of teams wanting him. Ty Gibbs, anyone at Trackhouse, or Kyle Busch. Yeah, absolutely. A number of teams looking to turn their seasons around, as Matthew's saying there. In terms of a number 7 team, I mean, again, if you can't hang on to Rodney Childers, then I don't know. It seems to me that this revolving door of people going in and out of this car here and this team at Spire is, I don't know. I mean, I imagine Justin Haley's still going to be the driver, but you look past that. If you can't hang on to a crew chief of Rodney Childers' resume here, for whatever reason again, then I don't know. I think I hesitate to say this a little bit because I know it's only the end of April, but maybe 2025 might be a write-off year where you just continue to try to gather data for 26 and kind of reset there. I don't know. It seems like when you've got this many people going in and out, then it's hard to build that chemistry. And I imagine it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better for Justin Haley if this keeps going on.
Yeah, you make a good point there about writing the season off, perhaps. But it's Talladega this weekend, and Justin Haley could potentially probably be in the conversation during the race on Sunday to pick up a victory with interim caretaker, boss, crew chief, or whatever. To use a football soccer analogy, it's a bit like Manchester United at the moment. They keep going through managers and players, and nothing seems to be getting any better. So maybe it's not the people. It's the higher ups that are perhaps the problem, but we'll see. I mean, if Rodney is going to stick to what he said there in his statement, probably the best time to take it, early summer, have some time with the family, reassess goals, potential opportunities, all that kind of thing. He could pop up anywhere. Someone like a Kyle Busch or Brad Keselowski even would, they'd be, I'm sure, probably been on the phone to him already because he's another man that really does need something in the quote-unquote team leader at RFK. His name's above the door, but he's having a struggle at the moment. So they really need to do something at the 6 team. But, a crew chief of that caliber sitting on the sidelines, it won't be very long, I should think, before someone will pick up the phone and try and snap him up.
Indeed not. And as I'm sure you both have been watching the open test, we've had a lot of people hanging around at Hendrick around Kyle Larson as well, where anyone's desperate trying to get a comment on both him returning to the Brickyard and also what's going on today in the situations. Behind the mic, Matthew Owens says, I think Spire has about the same amount of wins as United of late as well. Well,
yes.
United better be lucky. The 3 teams seem to be on the promotion relegation seesaw. Otherwise, I think they might be in danger of going down.
My brother-in-law supports them, so I don't think I can say much. Josh, does Kyle Larson have a shot to compete for the pole regarding the Indy 500? We're live right now, actually. I'm doing 2 things at once here. That's what this one's for. But he has been doing really well out there. He came in earlier on and said, that's not right. I need more steering angle. The throttle's not too great. And the team went, yeah, but you're faster than what you were at this point last year. So the caliber of his driver to already say, I know what I want to improve at this circuit, but already being faster than what he was last year, that's a great sort of leg up. And I think Larson, who was just in the Fast 6 last year, got a great shot to come in and try something this time out. But, guys, I think you might be surprised to know Joseph Newgarden just coming to the pit lane, but has gone top, 225.125 mile per hour on a test day. These are some serious speed with hybrid we're seeing. They're now doing some race pack runs out there at the moment.